myth busting some cruise ship myths. Are they? Can we myth bust everything? Do you think? Are some of them true? I don't know. We are gonna find out after we get the camera situated. See, professional YouTubers would have this already all set to go, but it's just not our thing.
We're only semi-pro?
We need this little buffer. I don't even know if we're semi-pro. So yeah, have you guys heard about all these myths on cruise ships? Got a list here. Like, cruises are only for old people.
I mean, we go on cruises.
We are old people.
It's time to face the facts.
So maybe cruises are only for old people. I don't think cruises are only for old people at all. Let me just scoot over a little bit. So, yeah, well, you go ahead on that. Cruise. When somebody says cruises are only for old people?
I mean, jokes aside, that's just ridiculous. Because, like, take Royal Caribbean for example. Royal Caribbean has made their whole business enterprise based on the fact that old people are not the only ones that want to go on cruises. They actually really focus on the kids and the families.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think cruises are for old people at all.
I think it used to be a lot more common that people above like 40, retirement age people for sure were on cruises kind of in the earlier part of cruising. Although the earlier part of cruising was like to cross the ocean and stuff like that. But
yeah.
It definitely has a certain amount of older people and retired age people because it's a type of vacation you can go on where even if you're older and maybe you're not as spry as you once were, you can still take a vacation. You can still get out there and see the world. But I'll tell you what, the cruise lines are doing a great job of like really trying to push cruising on all generations.
Yeah.
There's tons of it's like Carnival is really trying to go family. Royal Caribbean and Norwegian definitely are like super family friendly cruise lines. They've got amusement parks. They've got water parks, roller coasters, all these kind of things, and you're not going to see the 70-year-olds out there on
I think we should amend the myth. I think we should maybe myth bust these into truth statements and say that cruises are great for old people and they're also great for everyone else. So
absolutely, cruises are great for everybody. It's really an all age.
Well, I mean, there's some vacations that aren't really that great as you get older, like skydiving, although I did read a story recently about a 104-year-old woman who went skydiving. There's always exceptions.
There's always exceptions.
But
cruising's not just for old people. That's absolutely for sure. In fact, like I say, cruise lines are intentionally trying to get all ages involved. Yeah. And when you go on a cruise, you're definitely not just going to see old people. You're going to have people, no matter what age you are, you're probably going to have other people on the cruise in your same age group that you can hang out with, make friends with, and And so
I would say there's a lot of cruises that we've been on that the demographic has been younger than us. So.
Yeah, that's a sad truth right there. It's like more and more. Anyway, you'll get seasick all the time. That is myth number 2 that we're going to talk about. Do you guys get seasick when you go on cruises?
I think Joe has the inside scoop on this because he did the research on our video on if you get seasick.
I did do some research on seasickness on cruises, and that was a little while ago, so I don't have all of the statistics still in my head, but it's like a 25-ish%.
28%. I just was looking at the video.
25 is pretty close. Yeah. I almost got it. Percent of people get seasick on a cruise, so it's not that big of a percentage of people that even feel any seasickness. And I think it's a very small percentage of people that like are throwing up and like really, really seasick. I will say, if you're in the Caribbean, it's going to be calm waters. If you're, on a lot of cruise ships intentionally stay in calm waters, but you can get seasick if you're going to Antarctica because you're going over waves like
what is that called?
The Drake Passage. The Drake Passage is like super heavy waters. Or even on our Alaska cruise, we ran into some rough waters in our Greenland cruise. So like the cruises where you're getting out into the ocean a little bit more, I don't know, further away from land, I guess.
You're not in protected waters.
And it depends on the weather. If you hit some big storms and the waves get big, you're going to feel it a little bit. But Uh, it's not that bad, really. I mean, for most people, for like probably 75% of people, possibly even 80% of people, you might feel just a little bit woozy. It's like not a big deal.
And I would say, I mean, I don't know if you have the statistic or if this was part of the video, I can't remember, but cruise ships have stabilizers on them. They have
They do.
all sorts of things designed to make it so that you feel the waves less. I think you could argue that you're more likely to get seasick on a smaller boat, like if you're going out on a yacht for some deep sea fishing or something like that. I think
Yeah.
that's probably a more likely scenario of you getting seasick, not on a cruise ship.
Yes.
So,
You know, another thing to if you've been on a cruise and you've gotten seasick, or you just feel like you're a person that's really susceptible to motion sickness, get a cabin not at the extremes, not at the way front or the way back of the boat. Get one in the middle, and get one up towards the middle of the ship. You don't want to be on the bottom of the ship, even if you're in the middle, right?
yeah.
I
I
mean-
mean, we've experienced that ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we've had a cabin, I think, like pretty much any location you can say on a cruise ship. We've been at the pointy end, we've been at the aft end, and our favorite's always the middle because it's pretty calm sailing there.
And I bring this up every chance I get. Every chance I get, I for some reason am just fascinated by this. So many people go out and buy. They're not prescription, but what's the medicine called? Dramamine for
Dramamine.
motion sickness. And there's other versions of Dramamine. I just saw a Facebook post of somebody that was really popular. They're like, I went to Costco or something, and they had this. She has a pill bottle of, I can't remember what the drug was, but it's some motion sickness drug. And everybody's like, oh, we're gonna get it. What's that? And it's this drug that, honestly, when I've taken it, it makes me feel worse. I mean, the side effects from the drug make me feel worse than the motion sickness. But we're Minnesotans. A University of Minnesota study showed that ginger is just as effective, possibly more effective in some cases, for motion sickness than
and tasty.
than Dramamine and stuff like that. So you can go, on the internet or at your probably local drugstore or something. I think we got ours at.
We got ours at Sierra Trading Club.
Sierra
I think.
Trading-
Yeah.
We're like
we were
walking-
standing in line getting luggage.
We were
and-
buying luggage.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're buying luggage, which is something everybody needs on a cruise. And Joe just saw it in the impulse buy section of the store because if you've ever been to
We had just
Sierra
been
Trading
talking
Club,
about
there's
it,
always
though.
a long
Yeah.
line.
And so.
And Joe was
Anyway,
like, let's get
we've
it.
got like a giant bag of ginger candies, and they're good. They're tasty.
Yeah.
It's like a nice snack,
And it works.
and it works. It
Yeah.
makes you feel fine if you feel a little bit woozy from the boat. So from the ship, I keep saying boat. I know people hate it when I call cruise ships boats. For some reason, I just can't stop.
But
So
if you say it
anyway,
with a Minnesotan accent, it's a boat.
boat. Yeah. So the next myth we're gonna bust is that cruises are too expensive. Are cruises too expensive? So cruises are. There's a price to go on a cruise, but I would
like
say
everything.
just like everything. But I'd
Yeah.
say it's less expensive than like if you, let's say you're going to St. Thomas in the Caribbean on your cruise ship. It's less expensive than taking a plane there for sure, and it's less expensive than getting a hotel there. And the food is certainly less expensive and probably just as good. So
I would say maybe even better sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a price to cruising, but cruising's actually pretty inexpensive. And
Yeah.
if you're willing to just get an inside cabin and just kind of have the basic amenities, you can just for I don't know, a plane ticket and a few $100s, you can take
Yeah.
a cruise probably, probably like a
mean,
week-long cruise.
We track our budget on all of our cruises, like down to the penny, literally.
You do.
I do. It annoys me when it's off by more than 3 cents. So I mean it when I say down to the penny.
It's true.
And we always work out how much it costs per person per day for our vacation, and that's including everything, not just the cruise fare, but like any extra food we bought, the airplane ticket, the hotel room, the staying the night before. And I mean, we frequently have cruises where it's under $100 a person. I mean, I don't
Per day?
per day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty common. I don't know what the cheapest one we've done is per person, but and taking a longer cruise, you're spreading that cost of some of those fixed things like flying to the port. You're spreading that over a larger amount of vacation time. So that is a way to cruise. I mean, the cruise itself might be a higher dollar amount, but you're getting more days of enjoyment out of it. So that's one tip.
You
but I
know,
think,
there's ways.
yeah.
There's also ways to get cheaper cruises if you're a little bit savvy with like when you buy the cruise. If you can get a last second cruise deal, like on Vacations to Go, which we've talked about
Yeah.
before. That's a website that I wish was paying us. Vacations to Go. Come on, we're promoting you.
We
You
totally
should-
promote you.
you
It's an
should pay
awesome
us.
site.
So yeah, that's a great place to get a deal. Also, if you play in the casino on cruise ships, you're gonna get amazing deals coming to you in the mail for getting onto cruises. And how else can you get good deals on cruises? If you book way in advance, sometimes you can get good deals. But
Yeah.
I think booking closer, like last minute cruises, are probably.
I think the
way to
last
go.
minute cruises are going to be the best deals, but then you do have to be super flexible, and not everybody is. And you're not going to get a last minute cruise, or it's very unlikely that you're going to get a last minute cruise for Christmas, for instance. I mean, the holiday times is when everything books up. But
Yeah.
if you're able to cruise, like we did one right after Christmas, the week after. I mean, I think we left on January 3rd, and we got a really good deal on that. So think about when other people aren't able to take vacation, and if you are lucky enough to be able to take that time off, then that is a good time to cruise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you live in Florida, it's cheap to go on cruises.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to fly there. You can just drive your car and you can park. We've
Yeah.
met a few people on cruise ships that
Just do that.
they just cruise all the time because they
But-
live in Florida.
But
Yeah.
I just want to say, people might not realize this, but when you go to book a cruise, a lot of times they'll ask you what your state you're from, and it's not like relevant to what your billing address is. It's like at some other point in the conversation. And that's because cruise lines actually will give special incentives to people in particular states. And this is usually, like Minnesota gets it frequently, usually states that are away from the cruise ports, because they want to give you, kind of like subsidize the fact that you've got to travel a ways to get to the cruise line, because they want to, increase their audience, increase their customer base.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just those Floridians are not
Yeah.
getting those discounts. So
No.
there you go.
All right, so cruising can be pretty darn inexpensive, a lot less expensive than a standard vacation. And if you're savvy, you can get a really good deal on a cruise. So I'm saying we busted the myth busted that cruises are too expensive. I think they're probably pretty reasonably priced for what you get, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next myth we are going to discuss is you're trapped on the ship. You feel trapped. Well, go ahead, Em.
Well, I mean, have you been on a cruise ship? Those things are huge. They're like ginormous. You can. There's just so much different things that you can do. So many different areas of the ship.
It's hard not to do things.
Yeah, it's
on a-
hard
you-
not to do
yeah.
things. It's hard. I mean, if you like exploring, there's lots of things to explore. If you want to just stake out a comfortable area, you want to find your zone and just stay there all the time.
Not to
There's-
mention,
yeah.
not to mention, you stop places
Yeah.
and you get off the ship.
Yeah, you can get off the ship.
You get
it's
off
not
the
like
ship
you can't
a lot.
get off the
like
ship.
every couple of days.
I
you're
don't
getting
think
out.
there's
Yeah.
any cruises that don't stop somewhere.
No,
Like
and I
one
think
stop.
there's a lot of people out there that would. My mom has said, she'd love to take a cruise where you just stay on the ship the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah, for some people, the ship is really the experience.
There's a lot of things to do. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yes, you can't.
You're not trapped on a ship any more than you're trapped anywhere else in your life. So
Travel Cafe. Good
Good
afternoon to
afternoon.
you all.
Hello.
Hey, travel cake tips, travel cafe tips. I can't see. I'm blind. Anyway, yeah. So you are not trapped. I mean, you are trapped on a ship because you're not really. You could jump. You could jump off the ship.
you shouldn't say that. We shouldn't joke about that.
It's not funny.
jump off the ship,
But
okay?
yeah, I mean, you can't. When the ship is in motion, you got to keep going. But let's see here. We'll talk to the commenters
I'll
here in
get
just a
my-
second.
My device up here so we can see.
But
the
yeah,
comments.
so how about you guys? When you're on a cruise ship, do you feel like you're trapped when you're there? Do you feel like this sense of claustrophobia? I mean, cruise ships are huge. There's always somewhere to go. There's always entertainment. There's you can go take a walk around the ship. And if you walk around the ship, probably 4 or 5 times, you're going to be walking a mile. I mean, you can get out and exercise. So yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There's really no sense of claustrophobia to me. Sometimes if I have in those little rooms on the ships.
Well, yeah, I will say if you get an inside room, you have no windows. We've only cruised inside once.
Yeah.
And then on Royal Caribbean, we got the inside promenade where we had a window, but it looked to the inside of the ship.
Yeah.
And I did feel a little bit claustrophobic on the one time we had 0 windows.
The interior, no windows,
But just
was
get
rough.
get out of your room, honestly.
Get out
Just
of your
get out
room?
of your room, and
absolutely.
it's much better. But okay, let's see. Kentucky Leisure said, "Been watching you and others for a few weeks now. This is the first live of yours I'm catching. Just want you to know that you are amongst our favorites." So thank you very much. That's
what I'm
really
talking
nice
about.
to hear.
Thank you. That's great.
And it was travel cake trips. Travel cake trips.
Travel cake.
So
Say that in a row.
that's a tongue
That's
twister.
a tongue twister. So yeah, I think that in my notes here, I've got you're trapped on the myth is that you're stuck on board with no freedom, and the reality is there are shore excursions, port days, and onboard activities, and yeah, so you're not trapped on the ship. I mean, you are trapped on the ship in a way, but you don't feel trapped on the ship.
But no more than you could say, we're trapped in our town because we can't, I can't by foot leave the city here. I'd have to get in my car and...
This next one's a good one. So this myth is that cruises are unsafe. When is the last time you heard about... I mean, and cruise news is crazy. I'm talking about cruise news all the time. Everybody's talking cruise news. When's the last time that you heard about a disaster on a cruise ship, like where people got hurt or something, or that it was unsafe? Cruises are like really safety heavy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're
even when there is something huge that happens, like there was the one that was I don't know, like in the last 6 months where like they hit a freak wave and everything was like dishes were falling over. Nobody got hurt. Well, actually, I think
maybe minor
injuries, but nobody got
yeah.
seriously hurt. And just the fact that
I'm not saying you couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, freak things do happen, and there have been disasters on cruise ships, but it's a lot safer than getting in your car and driving to work, probably, odds-wise.
I think statistically that's fair to say.
It's cruising is pretty safe, and I understand why people get worried about it, because you are trusting, this giant ship that is out on the ocean, and you've heard about the Titanic, and you've heard all these things, and that is a little bit of a, there's just, I think, human nature. If you're put in a position where you can kind of see around you, there's really no escape if disaster strikes. But disaster's not going to strike. Not to mention, like, the protocols and the trainings, and what do we have here? They always use safety drills when they get to each port as well. Absolutely, the ships. Yeah,
they're very well trained in their safety drills.
And there's like maritime laws where they have to be. I mean, it's like they don't have a choice, but to do these drills, to have the crew trained really well. And you hear, I do cruise news segments all the time, and like just recently there was the Disney cruise where you guys probably heard about it. There was a little girl. I don't think her age ever was mentioned, but I'm imagining like 10 years old, that was sitting up on the balcony railing, and she ended up falling backward from the 4th floor. I think it was the Disney Treasure. It was one of Disney Dream, maybe one of the Disney ships.
Remember.
She fell into the ocean, and her dad heroically jumped through the porthole, jumped into the ocean, and she was 5. Oh my gosh!
She was 5.
I didn't know she was that young. That's wild.
Wow.
How did a 5-year-old climb up on that railing? The mystery continues. If she was 5, that's wild. But yeah, the dad jumps in, and I was just thinking about that recently, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but
I think it's amazing that he rescued her, honestly.
Wow.
So,
well, I mean, he kind of rescued her. He got her. He pulled her up, and they're treading water. But if the Disney crew, that was my whole point with this. The Disney crew was like, blam, they were on it. They were out there in a lifeboat, got those guys back on. So it was a combination of the dad getting out there and rescuing, and then they got rescued.
Do you remember, because I think you had this in your report, that it was like so many minutes after, like 10 minutes after they were in the water, only 10 minutes or something. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I think that's what was reported, is that it was about 10 minutes.
But I just, when I saw that, I was like, I didn't even know they could lower a lifeboat that quickly. I mean, just the fact that they responded so immediately, it shows that they're well trained and ready to respond. So
there's an example. I mean, so when disaster does strike, the crew of the ship is trained really well to take care of the situation. Unfortunately, if you go overboard on a cruise ship, your odds aren't that good. But if you take some decent, like some common sense, Not sitting on the railing would
Yeah.
be a good one. If you're drinking a lot, maybe just like,
Stay away from the
stay
railing.
away from the railing. I don't
But
know,
honestly, part of the reason I think the odds aren't so good is because the ocean is vast. I mean, it's
Yeah.
and imagine trying to spot somebody in the ocean. But what happened in this case was they had eyes on the dad and the kid at all times. Like there was somebody that was like, there they are, and and that goes to say, if you're on a cruise ship and you see somebody go overboard,
keep your eyes on them.
If you're the one that sees them, you should stand there and stare at them. Don't run off and get help. Stand there and
Yeah,
stare and
tell
yell
somebody
your
else.
at the top of your lungs.
Absolutely.
Have somebody else get
Yeah.
them.
But we're
So-
trying to myth bust
Yeah.
that cruises are unsafe. I mean, these cruise news stories are, there's millions and millions and millions of people that cruise, and then there's like a couple that have these disasters. It is very safe to cruise. It is
Yeah.
I feel on a cruise ship, I feel pretty darn safe.
Yeah.
Once in a while, there are like noises that I hear like in the middle of the night, and it feels like the ship is is like falling apart or something.
Yeah.
But I've gotten used to that.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So we got a couple of comments. Travel Cake Trips says there are so many things that could have happened in that situation. The Disney cruise, God was truly on their side, and yes.
Amen to that, man.
Amen.
God was
Yeah.
absolutely on their side, and
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So
All right.
next myth.
Next myth is. This is great. Cruise food is low quality. So the myth is buffets are mediocre and dining is subpar.
Can I insert a myth I don't think you have on there?
Yeah.
Oh, Bruce Hall, he must have the inside scoop. He says they were in the water for 20 minutes. So 20 minutes. A little bit longer, but still, I mean, that's
Pretty good. That's still pretty. They have to identify the situation, lower a lifeboat, get out there, get to them on the lifeboat in 20 minutes. That's still pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And
And I'm guessing the lifeboat was, I mean, it would have taken them a while to get to them.
But like
so,
a 5-year-old, isn't going to be able to tread water for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so
so the
dad
fact that the dad
saved
was there.
her life
Yeah.
absolutely by jumping in. That's wild. I mean, I just think about like the chaos of the moment of seeing a child go over and then making that. I mean, it was probably more instinctual. He was just like, all right, and he's just over the. But what a scary situation for everybody, and thank God for the outcome. Yeah.
Okay, so actually I'm going to answer this question first. Kentucky Leisure wants to know, do you have a set schedule for your live shows, like certain days of the month? And we've been trying.
We're just getting used to this. So we're shooting for Saturdays, and we have been doing like 2 or 3 o'clock, but we wanted to get an earlier start today. So Saturday, we don't have a perfect answer for you yet.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoons
Yeah,
is going to be
is what we're aiming
what we're
for.
going for. We'll try to get more specific.
Try to
than
be
that
more
at some
consistent
point,
as
yeah.
we get more used to it. And then just to kind of go backwards a little bit, Travel Cake Trips said, we normally go cruising together and I just went on a cruise solo. It was not bad at all. So I don't know if we want to do this now, but adding to your list of myths, cruising is not for, is not a good thing for people that are by themselves. Or I don't know how to phrase it, but,
that is, yeah.
I mean, that is one thing, like, you don't want to cruise by yourself, but I don't think that's true.
I think that's absolutely untrue. In fact, I think obviously it's becoming more and more. I think in the past people thought that it's like you can't go on a cruise by yourself, but now like Norwegian in particular, NCL is making cruise cabins for solo cruisers.
Yeah.
So the cruise lines are coming around on it. What's a bummer about it if you're not in one of those solo cabins is that if you book a cabin by yourself, the cruise line's going to charge you more than if you had 2 people in the cabin. So it'd still be less than 2 people, but it's not going to be
it's going to be
half.
significantly more.
It's not going to be
than-
half how much it would be if there was 2 people. So that's kind of a disadvantage of it. But if that doesn't bother you, I mean, I think like it's a great opportunity to meet people. Or if you're a hermit and you don't want to meet people, it's a great opportunity
You can
to
just stay in your cabin, or
you can just do
stay
your
by
own
yourself
thing.
and-
Yeah, I think most of the time those solo cruisers probably just want to. They're just people that just want to get out and make friends and meet people
and just experience things. And honestly, cruising is like, if you went to a strange city by yourself, there's nobody that's really going to be at the end of the day, oh, you're not checked back into your hotel, we better go look for you. But if you're on a cruise and you don't check back in, I mean, they're going to make an effort at least to figure out if something's going wrong. So I'm not going to say that they're going to like rescue you or something, but if they're able to do something, they will. So there is a little bit of oversight there, which might make you feel more secure. So,
we got it.
So it looks like Travel Cakes Trips does videos as well, so we're gonna have to check out their channel. But they said that the food on the Norwegian gem was really great. And then there are people on the Facebook pages associated with each cruise. You can chat and meet others and do things on boards. That's how I did the Mrs. Roper Romp. It was fun. Okay,
Mrs.
so
Roper Romp.
I haven't
What's
heard
the
of
Mrs.
that.
Roper Romp?
But yeah, you can go to your I'm blanking on what it's called, the roll calls for your particular cruise, and just say hello to everybody there on the social media forums. Facebook does it, and Cruise Critic hosts one too, and get a chance to meet these people beforehand. Maybe set up like, oh, I like to play bridge. I like to do these excursions. I need somebody to go with me on this excursion. There's room for one more. Do you want to split the cost? That kind of thing.
But then you'll get the one person that comes in and says, "Don't wear your pajamas to the buffet," or "I hate cruise ducks," or something like that, and then it just starts. And then it's a
always
fire. That's actually fun when people do that in my world, but it is kind of funny how like
there's always somebody that has to go
always
and leave
instigators.
an inflammatory comment.
Yeah, there's always instigators. So what were we talking about? We were talking about we
have information here. The Mrs. Roper Romp is where everyone dresses up like Mrs. Roper from the 70s show. Oh, from that 70s show. Okay, I didn't know that was the mom's name, actually.
Huh.
And goes around the ship spreading joy. That sounds like fun.
That's pretty great.
I hope, are they supposed to be like a Midwest family?
I think,
like,
Wisconsin.
do like a lot of Midwest
yeah, absolutely.
things, yeah. One of my favorite myths is a person who never cruised would have an opinion, always negative about cruising in general and look down on those who love cruising. Yeah, so that is true. People that have never cruised before have a tendency to say, oh, cruising is no fun. And I say, you can't say you don't like Brussels sprouts if you've never tried Brussels sprouts.
Don't knock it until you try it. Exactly. I think, yeah, I've certainly met people like that, and that's actually a great point. I don't even know exactly what to say about that, but there are people that just want to be negative about everything out there, and they want to. And if you're excited about doing something, there's just certain people that just want to be like, oh, I would never do that, or just be negative, and let them be negative. I feel bad for them though. I wish that somebody'd buy them a cruise because.
Make them go on a cruise.
Maybe it's just
trap them on the cruise ship.
Maybe. They just didn't have the opportunity, and maybe they're just a little bit jaded about that. So
yeah.
I agree with you. I've met people like that too, and I guess I just have a little bit of pity for people like that.
Okay, we have corrections coming in, so I'll acknowledge. I thought that Travel Cakes Trips said it was from the 70s show, but it's from Three's Company. But apparently
from the 70s. Okay.
Oh, it's just a show from the 70s. Oh, okay, I misread that. Sorry. And apparently they have a video on their channel about it, so go check that out if you are curious for more.
Absolutely.
More on that. So yeah.
Cool.
All right, next myth.
All right, next myth. Oh, that the cruise food is low quality. If I can start on that, I'll say, in some cases the cruise food is low quality, but not generally. Not generally. In fact, I mean, I'm trying to think of the lowest quality cruise food I've had, and I guess at some of the Carnival buffets, especially the late night buffet, it's just fried chicken strips. It's not like Shaq's Big Chicken. That is good chicken strips. These ones at the late night buffet are, I don't know, not the best. they're not terrible. But
there's so much variety there.
There's so much variety, and when I go to the late, what do you guys get when you go to the late night buffet? Do you ever? I always get. They have chips and salsa, and nobody's ever in line for the chips and salsa for some reason. I love chips and salsa, and they actually cut they use fresh tomatoes. It's not just jarred salsa. They have fresh tomatoes and onions cut, and it's just really good salsa, and then I usually get some of the soup. So that's kind of my go-to at the, and so you can seek out the foods that are better quality. So I like the fresh vegetable part of like the salsa, and I think the soups on Carnival are generally really good.
Yeah.
So I just kind of skip the crappy pizza and the chicken nuggets. Although
Yeah.
I've gotten some chicken nuggets, they're okay.
But everybody has different opinions of what they want in food, and that's the thing is when people say that the cruise food is horrible, you just imagine you go on the ship and like all you're served is just like gruel. Just it's all the same
Oh, it's good
boring
food.
beige brown
Yeah.
color, and it's just all disgusting. It's like no, there's so much variety there. If you don't like one thing, you can find something that you like on the cruise ship, and some people like the pizza. So
Some
I
people
don't
do like the
know
pizza,
who
and
those people are, but
Yeah.
I'm
And
sure
we're
they're
talking
great
about
people,
Carnival pizza
so-
in particular.
Yeah,
For
Carnival
whatever reason,
pizza.
Carnival is just not very good at pizza.
Yeah.
But with the exception of the XL class ships, the Mardi Gras and the Celebration had great pizza. But the main dining on any cruise ship that we've been on, many cruise lines and many cruises, and all of the main dinings are good food. I mean, some
Yeah.
are better than others. Here's a hot take. I actually think Royal Caribbean main dining is maybe my least favorite of any cruise line I've been on.
Yeah.
So, so you're gonna get good quality food at main dining, and so if that's what you're wanting to go for, the food is certainly not low quality there.
Yeah. So we have spurred a debate about pizza here. So
Okay.
Travel Cake Trips says that these cruise ships feel like you are at a mall, and where else can you just walk up to the pizza shop and eat all you want, which is a great point. And they're saying that they like the pizza we like the pizza. Maybe they're saying about Carnival because they say LOL. I'm not sure how to interpret that. Sorry, but MSC has the best pizza and Royal is second. And I think it's a toss up for me between Royal
Princess
and
has the
oh,
best
Princess.
pizza.
Yeah, that's
Princess
right.
has the
Princess
best pizza.
is my favorite. But MSC and Royal, I think, because Sorrento's was
MS,
pretty good.
I think MSC had better pizza than Royal
Really?
myself. Yeah. Sorrento's was
really-
okay.
I think I only tried that once
Sorrento's
on
honestly,
MSC.
I mean, Sorrento's is better than Carnival, but Sorrento's doesn't blow me away at all. It was, it's
Really?
it's a very average pizza to me, and I know that people will argue that, but hardly anybody's going to argue that Alfredo's is the best pizza.
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta go.
true.
You gotta get on Princess.
I mean, it's true to say that it's an average experience at Sorrento's because, like, Alfredo's has such a variety of toppings, and I like that on a pizza. I like to try new combinations. So
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
I'm just saying some people don't. Some people just want pepperoni all the time.
Or cheese.
Or cheese.
Yeah,
Which is why on Carnival they just always have
The cheese
pepperoni and
pizzas.
cheese there.
they do.
So, the Travel Cake says it's because they haven't tried Princess yet because they haven't cruised well. I would recommend try it out.
Just go for
That's
the pizza.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
just go for the pizza. Totally worth it. Alice Williams says we are very easygoing people, would never go hungry on any cruise, but overall the food quality definitely went down on NCL, Royal, and Carnival. Yeah, I mean,
I guess
people say that,
went,
but I don't know.
Well, it went down.
Like, at what point do you
Alice,
feel it went down?
when did it go down? Like pre and post COVID? Is that what you're talking about, or like are we talking about like 10 years ago? It was
Yeah.
better. So yeah.
Yeah, because I know that. Let's see. Travel Cake says there seems to be so much waste of food, and I think that's a fair point, and I think that they've done a lot to try to limit that. Like on Virgin Voyages, for instance, they don't have a buffet line anymore. They have like it's like a food hall, although they say it's not a food hall, but I don't know, it seems like a food hall to me. And then they have individual stands there where they make the food fresh when you come up to order it. And one of the reasonings behind that is that then you don't just have like this whole massive amount of food that isn't eaten. If they're just making it as people come up and it's ready to be prepared, but not actually like dished up and served. Because at the end of the day at the buffet, if there's food left in that platter on the buffet line, they've got to toss it. They can't serve that again.
Yeah, but I wonder if they give that food to the crew.
I mean, that's a fair question, but I think
I don't know that for a fact, and I will also say this: I've read more than one article now, at least 2 articles, and they were both specifically about Royal Caribbean. I'm assuming that the other major cruise lines are getting in on this, but Royal Caribbean is using AI to determine to
Oh yeah.
really cut down on food waste. The algorithm, the
Smarter than
AI,
us.
the smarter than us computers, it figures out really accurately how much food they should put out at a given situation, and apparently it's just really greatly reducing the amount of waste.
Yeah.
There also the AI is the AI. I sound like an old person for sure. AI is reducing fuel waste, and
Yeah.
it's helping the cruise lines become
Yeah.
more environmentally conscious.
It's like plotting. They're using it to plot out the routes to figure out exactly not just where they should go next, but exactly how fast they should go there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really making efficiency in cruising
Yeah.
uh, a lot stronger. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I just want to say, I'll read the comment here in just a second, but you said about do the crew get to have the leftovers, and I'm not sure on that either. But remember when we were on Princess and we went up to the buffet on formal night, and it was like late on formal night, and they just the buffet was going to close in less than an hour, and they brought out a whole new fresh thing of, it was like shrimp and these little lobsters. I can't remember. They were
Crawfish?
It was. I don't know if it was crawfish. That was something, but it was it wasn't like a full out lobster, but it was obviously a specialty dish. And
What is
I don't
there?
remember
What is there besides lobster? What's in between lobster and crawfish?
maybe it was like the Caribbean
A crab?
lobster or
A
something.
crab? Okay.
I don't know. Don't make fun of me. It was something that was shellfish and looked tasty, although we had already had our lobster, so I didn't take any of it. But I don't remember if somebody actually said this or we just made a conjecture, because right after they put that up, all of these crew, officers, and they weren't just officers, but they looked like the upper level of the crew, came in, and they all went, and they knew that was coming out. And I got the impression somehow that the chef was doing that specifically for the crew, giving them a little bit of their own formal night specialty.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it was a long story that I don't completely
Well,
remember.
that takes me on a tangent too. It's just a really quick tip here, and the people watching probably know their stuff, but I always I'll notice when I'm walking through the ship where the white uniformed crew are having their meals. And that's actually how we kind of
Yeah.
decided to try. We were on the Carnival Conquest, and we're seeing the officers go up the staircase, and we're like, let's go check out what's up there. And it was just midship. Go up there, and kind of hidden away is the old-fashioned barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Best food on the ship.
Yeah, it was totally the best food on the ship, and it's known as Guy's Pig and Anchor on a lot of other Carnival ships.
Yeah.
But this one's kind of hidden away, and less crowded up there. People didn't know about it, and all the crew, all of the officers were up there eating, and I was like, if the officers are eating there, this
that's the good
is
stuff.
they know where to eat on the ship.
Yeah.
So, and it was actually better than a lot of the Guy's Pig and Anchor places we've stopped on other Carnival ships. It was a particularly good smokehouse. So
Yeah.
little tip for you: look for where the officers are eating.
All right, so let's get caught up on the comments. So Alice Williams, just to clarify from a while ago, said post-COVID definitely. So, I mean, I'd say maybe a little bit post-COVID.
I
but
know
feel
menus were changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still think there's good food on cruise ships.
I mean, if you think in the past 10 years, you could argue that food has gone down, but
they've reduced menu size. I mean, and that's I think a
it's
food
different for
efficiency
sure,
thing.
so-
It's different. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still pretty happy with cruise food.
yeah. Then Travel Cake Trips says, have you experienced Virgin Voyages? We give them top-notch ratings on their food.
haven't.
Sadly, we have not. I did a deep dive into the newest ship that's coming out, the Brilliant Lady, so you should check out that video. Because I really found out a lot about Virgin Voyages, and we are thinking about booking them.
What'd they say about the Virgin food? They
They said it's so delicious and healthy yet flavorful. So, which sounds great.
That's
I mean,
that's
seemed
every
like
time
what I
Virgin
got from
comes
it,
up,
too.
it's like there's things I really want to take a Virgin cruise for certain reasons, and there's reasons why I don't. I don't really like the decor. I don't like the cherry red.
Yeah.
I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. Like the vibe of the ship, just visually, doesn't really do it for me. but like the aspects, the you get free basic Wi-Fi. I think that's really
the
nice.
way that they include everything. I mean, it's
It's
free.
yeah,
It's you're paying
very
for
included.
more.
So there's a lot of things about Virgin that I like, but I just
Yeah.
like when I look at the decor and stuff like that, I'm just like, that's not me. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I'm
So-
sure we're gonna try it sometime. So and the more people say like that it's really good, the more I want to try it.
Yeah.
So.
So, okay, I got lost here. Kentucky Leisure says the cruise line should give all that leftover food to a lot of the poorer nations they visit. I mean, that's a good idea, but
I like that idea.
yeah, I mean, but you can't give like half-eaten food to people. That's just not sanitary. So
I don't think he was saying you should give like
Well,
the
I just mean-
leftovers on the plate to.
no, but I mean, like if you have the buffet tray and it's got 5 little I don't know, eggs Benedict in there that have been sitting out the whole time, can you give those to somebody else? I mean, nobody's actually put them on their plate and like touched them, but like what's the proper protocol for food safety? That's what I was wondering about.
I don't know.
But anyways, I'll move on. Usually the international crew have their own chefs preparing authentic food they are used to. We spoke with crew members and they told us about this. I mean, yeah, I knew that they have like a separate mess hall or food section
crew?
for the crew, and so.
Well, do the officers have a separate one from the
I think the officers
workers?
also have a separate area, but the workers have their own. I don't know. It probably depends on the cruise line, but I've seen things about that too, where I think the one I saw was like a buffet style line they could go through.
Well, see, I know that at least I know that's. I never see like the crew that works like the buffet area and main dining. I
Yeah.
never see them eating
In that area.
In that area, but I do see officers eating
And entertainers.
and entertainers.
Yeah.
Like I definitely like on our last
we
cruise
saw that a
we
lot.
saw entertainers eating at the.
Yeah, we
Where-
saw that
where
on
all the
Royal
passengers
Caribbean
eat.
too, because when we
Absolutely.
went in specialty dining, the entertainers were allowed to go to specialty dining.
And I remember seeing it on the Princess Sapphire.
Princess, yeah.
So
yeah, that's right.
absolutely.
Yep.
So some crew get to eat the passengers' food, and I guess other crew don't.
Yeah. We watched a show that talked about, this is Travel Cake Trips, what they do with the food people leave on their plates. They dump it for the fish. That's why they try to ask people to separate the food from what they don't use. And I actually read that too. They have like these insane food grinders. I think that was in that Netflix video we watched about how the cruise ship runs. Remember? That was a really cool video actually. But they have these insane food grinders that they put all the leftover food in, and then they are able to, feed it to the fishes at a certain point in the ocean.
That is fascinating.
I think
actually.
it's like they have to be 7 miles from shore or something like that. But I'm guessing somebody can look that up and fact check me on that.
Netflix.
I'm not sure.
Netflix has been doing a ton
Yeah.
of cruise ship. There's a new cruise ship documentary out.
Oh,
so
really?
yeah,
Okay.
they did. Netflix put out the one you're talking about, which was actually been up for a long time.
Yeah, that one had been up for a while.
But then just recently was the Poop Cruise movie, which
Yeah.
is actually kind of great. It's a really interesting documentary. The people that they brought in, if you guys haven't seen it, the people that they brought in are really eccentric people and just kind of make it funny. And then I didn't watch it, but I just saw on Netflix they now have a not a murder mystery, a disappearance. I don't know. It was several years ago. A girl was on a cruise and just disappeared on the cruise ship. I don't know all the details on it because I haven't seen the movie yet. But yeah, it's definitely cruise ships. I think are trending. I guess it would be the right word. Like TV
Yeah.
people.
makes
Movies
sense.
are being made about cruise ships. TV shows. There's
Cruising is
Doctor Odyssey.
Yeah, it's a very fast growing.
Cruising is very fast growing, and it's also a great storytelling platform. So anyway, I'm kind of getting way off. Go ahead.
Travel Cake Trips said that we think it was called Mega Cruise Ships, the Netflix video. That sounds right.
That does sound right.
Yeah. And just watch
watched.
this.
Oh yeah, how, Travel Cake Tips. How was that movie? Is it worth that documentary? Was it worth it?
Oh, Alice Williams says the Poop Cruise documentary took one cruise out of thousands, and did it's added a negative vibe to non-cruisers. Well, yeah, that's true. Like, I can't
A
remember
negative
who
vibe
said
to
it.
what?
It just added a negative vibe to non-cruisers. So yeah, people that were already saying I'm never going to go on a cruise, if they watch that video, they're going to be like, "See, that's why."
I hadn't thought about
But,
that angle. I mean,
mean,
are people watching that and saying I'm never going to go on a cruise? I mean, that's one cruise
yeah,
out of like.
if you can't take that in the context of
Although
Yeah.
it is like a nightmare situation, absolutely nightmare situation. So that it would really suck if that. happened.
My favorite part of that was the ending where they kind of mentioned the CEOs were like all afraid when they came in how upset the passengers would be, and what ended up happening is that they like painted on, I don't know, on bed sheets or what, but they painted giant signs that said thank you to the crew, and
Yeah.
just they like gave it all to the crew and said they're the ones that got us through this disaster. And
In the
I
end,
think
people
that's-
were just
yeah.
grateful for the support from the crew and
Yeah.
just getting through the ordeal. But what and we don't need to talk about the poop cruise the whole time. But like, it was fascinating. Like, at least the way they portrayed it in the movie was kind of, within a day or so of this disaster happening, where the ship has no power. There's people that were factions
Yeah.
started forming, and that people are building tent cities like on the Lido deck, and like you can't come into my area, and like taking over sun loungers,
Yeah.
and then they're pulling their mattresses out into the
Yeah.
into the hallways.
So it's like a little bit of
It's-
Lord of the Flies going on.
Yeah, it's like
but-
people start turning on each other immediately. And then at the
But
end, in the end, they're all just really grateful, and
Yeah.
people are working together. So it's a roller coaster, that movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
it really is.
All right, should we do the next cruise myth?
Sure. All right. So, the next cruise myth is that cruises are unsafe. We did that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. That you'll be bored on your cruise. That is, there's nothing to do on a cruise ship. That is
Yeah.
what is.
Like, that's so far from
The
the
next
truth
myth.
that, I mean, I don't even know if it deserves a response, but we'll respond.
So I'll just say this: like in general life, I hardly ever take naps. Once in a while I'll take a nap because of whatever comes up. But when I'm on a cruise, I am so overloaded with all the frickin' different activities I've done. I end up taking a nap. I like nap on a regular basis on cruises because I just get tired from doing so much stuff.
Yeah.
So like it is literally the opposite of boredom. Sometimes I'm like, I just can't do that activity because I'm just tired. I'm tired because we've done so much stuff. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. I was just thinking about that video I watched of Matt from Royal Caribbean blog where he said I can't remember what he said. He was unapologetic about taking a nap on a cruise, and yeah. So I mean, Matt says you can take a nap. So
Even Matt says you can take a
yeah.
nap. But yeah, I mean, like, so let's just say, like, when you start a day on a cruise, you have the choice of where you can go get breakfast if you're a breakfast person. But even before that, you've got a great gym you can go to if you're
Yeah.
the type of person that gets up and works out. I'm not, but if you were, you are.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So
I don't use the gym though, but
So you've got a great facility where you can go work out. You've got like endless options for food, and then after that, you can go to trivia. You can go to a class to learn how to dance.
got art classes a lot
you've
of
got art
times.
classes. You got crafts classes. Sometimes you've got karaoke.
Yeah.
You've got
oh yeah, we've got karaoke, trivia, live music, Lido deck activities, swimming pool, movies outdoors. Yeah, like
that's a great
let's
list.
just start listing all of them. It would just go on.
So
and on.
if you're bored on a cruise,
Yeah.
you've got issues. You've got major issues
Yeah.
if you're bored on a cruise. It is like you'd have to try to be bored on a cruise.
Yeah.
So what you don't have, and I think when people say that, they're afraid to get outside their comfort zone
Yeah.
because we all have
the things you want, your comfort things at home.
exactly and like
That
your
you're used
routine
to.
that you're used to, and so. And when for some people that don't travel a lot and they have this fear that like if they don't have those basic
Yeah.
routines,
You know
that-
what made me really sad is because we don't get Wi-Fi a lot of times on the cruises, and I had this huge streak of Wordle going, and I lost my Wordle streak.
That is too
that
bad.
was sad.
That brings up a point. We've done several cruises with with limited internet, and I'll say I had literally I had withdrawals. I'm addicted to the internet. I have to. I'm sorry that my name is Joe and I'm an internet addict. It's a sad thing, but seriously, I look at the news. I like having my things on and when I don't have that and I can't do it, I reach for it. I want it so bad and so that's a little bit scary how addicted to the internet we are. But anyway, that's another tangent.
So I think we like that on a cruise you can do as much or as little as you want, but cruising is for old people. Cruises are floating nursing homes. Ever heard that one? Oh, I think you joined us late. We talked about it in the beginning. So and we dispelled that myth, even though we couldn't necessarily personally dispel it.
Because we're old people. Yeah, but it is not just for old people.
It is absolutely not. And then some people just bring a book, go up to the Serenity deck, relax, read in the breeze. It's all about what you want to do. I mean, that's exactly. It's like whatever you want to do, you can do it. And yeah, I totally bring a book.
That's what's really funny though, is when I imagine I'm on a cruise ship, like when I'm at home, I'm like, I'm going on a cruise, it's gonna be so great, I'm just gonna relax, I'm gonna get a book, I'm gonna go up and just sit on a sun lounger and chill. I do that a little, but that's like hardly what I do. It's like there's always something that I'm doing on a cruise ship. I mean, I guess we work a little bit because we do like these cruise videos and stuff like that, but it's
well, okay, so specifically about reading, I just want to say something to that. So I personally love to read. I read all the time, and I always bring books with me on my cruise. But generally I'm going to do that on our balcony, or I'll find like somewhere super quiet, and Serenity is like acceptable. But you see these people that are out on like the main part of the Lido deck and they're reading a book. I do not have that ability. Like all these people walking by me, all the noise, the music, the DJ's playing, I can't zone in on my book. I can't do it. But
like Serenity.
But Serenity isn't so bad. Yeah. But I'd still rather just be where there's nobody going to be walking by me. But I just wanted to say on one of our last cruises, it was embarkation day, and it got to the point where like the ship was fully loaded, but we hadn't sailed away from the dock yet. And we were at not Serenity, it wasn't the main pool, it was like the aft pool. But that place was just really, really, really crowded. There was the bar, there was a million people around the bar, it was really hot, so there was a bunch of people putting their feet in the water. And there's this woman sitting on the edge of the pool with her feet in the water. People were like jostling her and everything, and she's just like there, she's just reading. Just like completely just I kudos to you, lady. I could never do that.
I just have one really quick story to tell about reading on a cruise ship. I had my iPad. I went up to Serenity, which is the adults-only retreat on Carnival cruises, which we are on a lot. And I went up there. It was kind of towards the evening, and I went up there. There was no music playing. There was seriously nobody up there except for a couple of crew members. Maybe a couple of people sitting at the bar, and I sat down to just read, and I was reading for probably 20 minutes, half hour, and then this gentleman walks in, this guy. He was a big guy, and he came, literally could have sat, I'm reading, I'm obviously just sitting there reading by myself, and he could have sat anywhere in Serenity. Every spot was open. Every spot in the entire
100 loungers to choose from.
100, like just of all the chairs, clamshells, he could have picked anything, and he sat directly across from me, and he pulled out his phone, and he turned on like the Avengers or something. Like it was some crazy like adventure movie, and he like it was like a couch thing that he was across from me, and he's like he lays down on the couch, has the phone up like this, full volume, and he's by himself, he's laughing out loud at the movie. But it was just so bizarre to me that people can do what they want to do. And what I did is I laughed about it for a while. I was kind of like, this is insane. I can't believe this guy's like, I'm reading in silence, and he comes out here and does this.
Decided right next to you was the perfect place to do it.
It was really strange. But what was awesome is I had my earphones with me, my earbuds. I just put in my earbuds. I put on some light music, and I was able to drown it out and just go into do my own thing. Like you said, like distraction is tough when you're trying to read a book.
Yeah.
But have you guys ever had an experience like that where you're just in a situation where you're just trying to get a little bit of peace, and somebody comes and like pulls out their phone and starts, playing something?
Ellis says he needed company. So
yeah, I probably should have struck up a conversation. I was into my book, Anyway, so Alice, you're probably right. I should have said, "Hey, man, how you doing?" and like got to know him a little bit.
I don't think she's judging you. She said LOL too. So, but Kentucky Leisure wants to know: is it really as hard to get a lounge chair on the decks like so many people say? I think no. I think people really exaggerate it. Just it makes a good headline, like talking about all the chair hogs. But
yeah, I'll say this, like. We noticed it, so like specifically for what's it called, Movie Under the Stars.
Yeah. Oh, it's
doesn't really matter. Movie Under the Stars. So the movies that they show on the big screen and the Lido deck, dive-in movies. Yeah. There were some on the Carnival Vista and on the Carnival Horizon. There was some prime seats up on like the deck above the Lido deck that had padding. And we're super comfortable. There's little tables where you can put your drink down. It was a really, really desirable place to watch a movie. And we went up to watch Ghostbusters, the latest Ghostbusters movie, I think. And people had towels and things set all over. They were holding their seats, and they had them there for like hours.
Yeah.
So people do hog seats sometimes.
Happen, but as far as getting a chair, though, like prime real estate, sure, that might be challenging sometimes. Yeah. But in terms of just finding a lounger, period, the only cruise I would say we've ever been on where I think that there wasn't a lounger in a particular very large area would be when we went on MSC Seascape, and it was I think it was the last sea day. It was a perfect, beautiful day. And they have this giant, it's the front pool, I can't remember what they call it, but the front pool is fully exposed to the sun, but it's just like this huge sun deck expanse, and there's literally hundreds, I would say, loungers, and I think every single one of them was taken. Not to say you couldn't find a lounger somewhere else on the ship, but they were ones that were less desirable on the side and more in the shade.
Yeah, and they weren't taken by necessarily a physical person, they had a towel or something like that.
But that was the only time, I would say. Seriously, even
you can usually find a lounger,
yeah.
But like prime real estate, like you said, sometimes people are really rude and they'll block out 8 chairs with towels that somebody else could be using.
Yeah. A Travel Cake Trip says if you go out to the pool on a sea day, good luck getting a seat by the pool.
Right.
But usually on the upper decks, if you just want to take in the sun, you can get a lounger. And so that's true. It's like, if you want it right by the pool, right by the prime real estate, in a case like the seats you were talking about, I think they had, 10 of those couch things to watch the movies?
Yeah.
I mean,
they're gonna 10, get taken.
10 for 4,000 people on the ship. Yeah. Small percentage.
Yeah.
But, all right, next myth.
Next myth. Where are we at? 57. Let's see. Cabins are claustrophobic. I'll tell you what, that's not really a myth. I can't really bust that one. So cabins are claustrophobic is and the myth is all cabins are tiny and cramped. You know what? They're not, but I can't afford the ones.
Yeah, I was just going to say not all cabins.
I mean, we are lucky enough to have cruised on a lot of balcony rooms in our recent cruises, and they're still kind of cramped, man. I mean, they're little rooms.
Do you remember the one time we scored an extended balcony that was the Mardi Gras?
Oh, man, that was awesome.
And we walked in, and I was like, Joe, this is an extended balcony. We should book this one while it's still open. It's not any extra. I don't know why it wasn't
I had totally forgotten we got that extended balcony.
I said, okay, it's going to be a little bit longer. And so we walk in the room, and it's just like, oh, it's like the balcony stretched on forever. It's awesome.
It's crazy. Like in a cruise room, I had no idea that the extended balcony was it was basically like 2 balconies stacked on top of each other.
Maybe even 3, or at least 2.5.
Maybe 2.5.
It's kind of angled.
But I mean, balconies are only 3 feet wide or something like that anyway. So like that extra 6 feet just made the room seem huge.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Like when you have a small amount of space, if you even add a little bit more space to it, it makes it seem just so much bigger. That was, there was bad things about that room. So we're talking about a room on the Carnival Mardi Gras. We were on, I think, deck, I want to say 9 or 10, something like that.
It's the section of the ship that kind of bumps out, so it's like
Yeah.
slightly curved.
Two bad things. So one great thing about the room was the extended balcony. That was really, really cool. Just having that space. It was a fun balcony. The three bad things about the
So
balcony.
I thought it was just one.
Well, it
It's
went
two,
from
now
1 to
it's
2 to
three.
3, but
Okay.
the one bad thing was down below us to the right-hand side was the smoking deck.
Okay, yeah.
So we were getting cigarette smell a lot from the smoking deck, even though it was like down a few decks.
Yeah. That is true.
And the second bad thing is that our neighbors on the other side, it was like it seemed like there was 10 people in that
Yeah.
cabin.
No, I
and
think there was like 20, and they were all under the age of 10, and
it was nuts.
playing football.
It was nuts
So,
over there.
Yeah.
And then the third bad thing, and this isn't about the balcony, but the walls in that room, like, and it once again, it kind of ties into our neighbors with all the people in that room. But every time they left the room, they would slam the door,
Oh my
and
gosh.
like our walls would shake. It was crazy.
It was.
So, but
Yeah.
I'll take it. Oh, if we
Yeah.
can have that much more space, that was so nice.
The reason why, in case you're wondering, is so the room right next to us was one of their larger suites, one of Carnival's larger suites, and then we were in just like a regular room. So they had a suite, and I actually think this group had 2 suites, and they were just like sharing. And
Adjoined,
so
yeah.
the entire extended, it was like a 3-generation family trip. I know way too much about that family, so yeah. And they were loud. I don't even know if they were intentionally being loud. I think they just
No, they were
couldn't
just
avoid being
oblivious.
loud.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
but
it was great. It was great to
Otherwise, it
have
was
that
great.
room.
Yeah.
That room was great. So
claustrophobic is only partially myth busted.
yeah, I would say definitely. An inside cabin, no windows. That's super claustrophobic.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it's fine. It's cruise, but yeah, it's claustrophobic.
All right. Any more myths?
I think there are more myths.
Oh
but
wait,
we
sorry, we got a comment. I didn't see that. Sorry. I have claustrophobia, Travel Cake Trip says, and I stayed in a porthole room. I did not feel like I was suffocated at all. The thing is, you are going to spend most of your time outside in the room anyways. You're just using the room to sleep and shower. And yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. What are you going to worry about if you're asleep or you're taking a shower? And
Yeah.
But I don't know, when you wake up and there's no, I mean, a porthole room is one thing where you still have that outside light, but when it's an interior room with no light, it's tough.
It is. It can be
is
claustrophobic, and I'm the kind of person, and not everybody is, and it's just different. People are different, but I need to like get away from everybody sometimes.
Yeah.
I just need a little bit of space sometimes. So I need to go back to my room and take a couple hours, and just kind of get away from everything going on. And if you're feeling just kind of that need, and you go to an inside room with no window. It can feel a little bit stuffy in there. It
Yeah.
really can. But that's just part of cruising, and I'm not really complaining. I love to
Yeah.
cruise, and despite the fact, but rooms are small, and interior rooms with no windows are. They don't like not have that not having a window thing. I mean, ocean
Yeah.
view rooms with a window are not so bad, but if you don't have any kind of a window, at least for me, I do feel that it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's interesting that the ship designs, they want to have bigger ships because that's better for the profitability of the cruise line, but then you're going to have more interior rooms just because, like, that's the way, I don't know, geometry works. And so Royal Caribbean has come up with this thing, which MSC did it on World America, but they have the inside promenade. So instead of just having like a filled in cruise ship, you have kind of like 2 wings that come out, and so you can have these inside views. I'm not explaining it very well, but if you've ever cruised on Royal Caribbean or the World America has it, and the World Europa has it, and that's an alternative. It's like you're actually not even getting sunlight because the one we were on.
No, but
it
you have
wasn't
a
even open.
window
But
where you can look out into a vast area.
something that's bigger, yeah. And
which
that's
that's
just.
what you need.
And I know that some of the lines will have like a TV that you can tune to, the outside channel, but I think I think I still know, like my mind still knows that's not real. So
Do you guys ever go on the cruise room TV and they have a video camera of the Lido deck? And do you ever like spy on the pool and the hot tub to see when
Yeah.
when the hot tub's empty?
that's
We do that.
that's our tip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
our tip.
that's how you find out when you can get in the hot tub. But Travel Cake Trips agrees that I don't think I can handle no window. That makes sense. I think speaking to you going back to the room, Bryant usually goes back to the room and loves to relax on the balcony, and that's the
Yeah.
greatest thing about a balcony is you
Absolutely.
can still enjoy the fresh breeze, but you're not having to worry about
Everything.
everybody,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, I think we generally try to shoot for about an hour on these live streams, and we have hit an hour. There are a couple.
You want to do them like rapid fire?
Sure. There's just two left. Cruises are all inclusive, no extra costs. So the myth is everything is covered in the ticket price. Everybody knows that's not true
Yeah,
these
everybody
days.
knows that's not true.
That used to be once again like going back to like early cruising.
Yeah.
I think everything was all
I don't think that's been
inclusive.
true for at least 20 years.
But more and more and more, and Carnival is a wonderful example of that with their new credit card based loyalty program, loyal to their credit card.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, obviously it's super not all inclusive. You do have options so that you can make it all inclusive, but if you want to get the extra really good
I
stuff,
think that's the thing is to realize when you go on a cruise, it's up to you at that point. You're on the ship, you're going to get fed, you're going to have somewhere to sleep, you're going to have access to a bathroom. But if you want to have, something fancy, and the cruise lines know what that fancy thing is that everybody wants. Like Carnival knows that everybody wants a donut, so they don't give you free donuts in the buffet.
Yeah, you
They
gotta
make
buy
pay
the
for 'em.
donuts. Yeah.
So
And so the final myth that we're gonna bust here is maybe we're gonna bust it is that you'll gain a ton of weight when you go on a cruise. Unlimited food means inevitable weight gain. Is that true? Do you guys gain weight when you go on a cruise? So I will say on that one, I have had experiences where that is true, and I've had
Yeah.
experiences where that's not true.
Yeah.
And I know what I have to do now
Yeah.
to not gain all the weight.
that's a good point.
Emily, this is, I don't know, several cruises ago, Emily's like, I'm going to bring these little Tupperwares.
It's a great idea.
I'm going to bring these little Tupperwares, and when we go to the buffet, we can bring snacks back to the room. So we had these Tupperwares, and we had them full of chocolate chip cookies. So many chocolate chip cookies, and in the crew room there was always chocolate chip cookies.
Yep.
And I seriously gained I don't know, I
we
gained like
both
10
gained
pounds
the
or
most
something
weight
on that.
cruise. Yeah. And then the next cruise, we were like, okay, no Tupperwares.
No Tupperwares. And so yeah, I don't even think I had so many chocolate chip cookies I just didn't even want anymore.
I think I had one just because I was like, oh, remember that last cruise where we ate 100 chocolate chip cookies? I should eat one just to see.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't need any more.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you could gain some weight on a cruise if you just kind of let yourself do whatever the heck you want. And if you give yourself means to bring food
Yeah.
to your room, because then you've always got food.
And
But
Travel Cake Trips points out that there is a walking track, so you can go
you can
walk and get up at
exercise,
6.
you can
There's a
burn
fitness
some
center.
calories.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's another thing is if you go on the cruise, you eat nonstop and you're just lazy the whole time.
Yeah.
You're gonna gain some weight.
That's like the worst.
But most people that go on a cruise, I mean, most people don't go as often as we do,
Yeah.
and so
People don't realize how much you're gonna walk.
You walk a ton
not
when
even
you're
going
on a
the
cruise,
walking,
yeah.
but just going back and forth from your room to the main dining hall. You can be
And when you
walking a
go
ton.
to ports, I mean,
Yeah,
you're walking for
around.
miles.
Yeah.
So you're gonna burn a lot of calories. So you might gain a couple of pounds, but you'll probably drop it when you get
Yeah.
home. And
With the exception of the cookie cruise, the infamous
Yeah,
cookie
yeah,
cruise,
yeah.
I believe that when I gained weight, within like a week, I was just back to whatever I normally weighed.
Exactly.
So it's
yeah. Take the cookies with
and eat them on the track. Take the cookies with you.
while you're walking around the track. Yeah, that's funny, actually. All right, so I think that is where we are going to leave this live stream. It has been fun talking to you guys about cruise myths, Kentucky leisure. Thank you. Enjoying your live.
Try to get your
listening.
type. We're gonna try to be more consistent with the
Yeah,
time too.
we'll do
So
the best we can.
we'll do the best we can.
Yeah, guys. All right, guys. It's been fun talking to you guys. Take it easy. Should see you again next Saturday afternoon.